The city of Brooklyn Center is taking steps to change what's in the water you drink at home.
Tests show levels of manganese in the water are higher than what the state recommends. Reporter Shannon Slatton explains the issue and what it means to you.
Well number 9 is a noisy place. This is one of Brooklyn Center's wells where water is pumped up from deep underground. The water that comes from here is tested and treated before it comes out here in faucets and fountains around the city.
We have received an advisory that was provided by the Minnesota Department of Health that came out in June of 2012 talking about an emerging issue, and that has to do with the levels of manganese in the water.
Manganese is a natural element found in water all across Minnesota.
This is kind of an area of emerging science at this point.
Buddy Ferguson with the Minnesota Department of Health says too much manganese could damage the central nervous system. But more studies must be done before a law regulates how much manganese is allowed in drinking water.
Statewide, we do not routinely test for manganese. It's not regulated under the Federal Safe Drinking Water Act.
Guidelines from the Minnesota Department of Health say there should be 100 parts per billion for babies who are drinking formula made with tap water and 300 parts per billion for everyone else. Recent tests show Brooklyn Center's average level to be 350 parts per billion.
It's all over Minnesota.
City staff say there has always been manganese in the water here, but because of the health advisory, they are taking steps to lower levels.
So we're going to be changing the way that we blend our water, and we think that immediately we're going to be able to reduce our parts per billion below that threshold of 300.
In the past few weeks, the city decreased the amount of water coming from wells with higher amounts of manganese. Plus, they are exploring other long-term solutions.
From all indications, the water in Brooklyn Center is safe to drink.
The Minnesota Department of Health says if you have an infant less than a year old and if you have water with high levels of manganese, you have 3 options. You can breastfeed your baby, use bottled water where manganese has been removed, or you can use a filter on your drinking water at home. And Mike and Alex studies so far show that adults like you and I were not at risk for drinking any tap water, but so far there needs to be more science out there before any changes are made.
All right. Thanks a lot, Shannon.